I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, I want to show you 4 of my favorite flangers in the Axe Effects flanger block. This also applies to the FM9 and FM3 flanger block as well if you want to play along on any of your fractal devices. Before we do that though, I've got the band commander at the settings that you can see with my free LTTV Mix 7 cabinet IR. I have a little bit of the large wooden room reverb in here, and I've got some compression from the Studio Feedforward compressor. I've just set the ratio to 4 on here. The tapped neck pickup on my PRS DGT sounds like this. I do love that Band Commander amp model on there. That is a sweet edge of breakup tone over there. Let's go to the flanger block. And I'm going to start out with one of my favorite flangers in here, as well as one of my favorite flangers in the physical pedal space as well. The Electric Mystery. This is based on an Electro Harmonix Electric Mistress flanger. One of, if not the most iconic flangers ever made in here. I'll just let you hear the settings where I've got them at the moment, because I have pulled these settings from my free blocks library that is linked in the video description. This one was matched to a vintage 9-volt Electric Mistress that I was lucky enough to borrow. Let's have a listen to the settings at the moment. I have to play this riff. That's just absolutely stunning as a starting point. And like most effects blocks in the fractal ecosystem, I'd always encourage people to just scroll through the different effect types as a starting point. And there are lots of great starting points in here for the flanger block. You've got stuff like Stereo Jet, Spirit Flange, you've got Hemis Flange if you're a Rush fan over here, counter flanging, coup de flange. You can probably guess what all of those presets are based on, but for me, this Electric Mystery just works for that clean sound on there. Now, essentially a flanger is a very short delay with feedback or regeneration, and the flanger block here lets us select between positive or negative feedback on here, something that a real Electric Mistress can't do. So one thing worth playing around with is once you've got your feedback dialed in, plug the negative value in and see if you like the sound any better. Let's have a listen to positive 51 versus negative 51. So while playing around with the rate and depth, like any modulation effect, is going to be the best starting point, to me getting the most character out of a flanger relies on where you set the feedback along with the rate and depth. Most flangers also have a manual control as well. We'll talk about the manual control with the next flanger though, because I'm going to bring up the BBF2. This is based on a Boss BF2 flanger in here, and I'll just let you hear the settings that I've got it at the moment. This has that classic Boss modulation sound about it. What I like about the BF2 mode on here is that it actually kind of doubles up as an excellent chorus. If you just set the feedback to 0, then you can play around with either the minimum and maximum time or the manual control on here. Essentially, with the manual control at a minimum, you're going to be getting the maximum delay time and vice versa over here. So just taking the feedback out of the equation, playing with the rate and depth, it's a pretty sweet mono chorus. It's also awesome with high gain. Another fun trick that works with any of these flangers, but it's a trick that a lot of people developed on the old BF2, was set the depth to 0, then you basically use the manual control as a fixed flanger. So you can see this little monitor that basically that delay time isn't changing over there. And this can create a great little boost on here. Let's hear it without and then with it. If we're going to talk about flangers with high gain, though, we have to talk about the MXR flanger model, the MXF117. A big shout out to my buddy Nicholas over on the forum who put together these Van Halen style settings. If you want to play Unchained, this is just absolutely perfect. You can see the feedback here is cranked up, low rate and depth with auto depth off over here, and the manual at around 3. We get this. That's so thick and greasy on there, and it's got the character that the original pedal is known for. Now, if you want to have the momentary effect of just having the flanger activated for those low drop D notes on here, the way I like to do it is to assign a momentary control switch to the bypass state. Let's go control switch number 4. I've set this one up on my FC12 to be momentary. I always like to flip the bypass state over here. So at the moment, the control switch is not engaged and the flanger is off. I'm also going to set the bypass reset to 270 degrees here so that when I engage the effect, it always starts from the same point of the flanger sweep. So let's see if I can actually do this and play that classic riff. To round things out, another personal favorite of mine is the DAD185 flanger. This is based on an old ADA flanger, probably best known for its really slow sweep. And this was used by Pat Travis and Pat Thrall from the Pat Travis band. That's kind of why I'm so interested in this particular model over here. I'll let you hear the settings that I've got at the moment. Basically just set it up for a chorus over here with a really low rate high depth and the feedback and manual zeroed out over here. This one makes a great faux Leslie sound as well if you crank up the rate and bring the depth down. So let's just have a listen to what we've got at the moment. That's all for today. If you'd like these settings, you can grab them in my free blocks library, which is linked in the video description. Go and watch the video where I talk about my blocks library as well as the steps needed to install them. Once you've got them in there, you can just click on the library and bring these settings and many more up. I've also got blocks for basically everything in the Axe effects over here, whether it's amps, delays, modulation effects, compressors, and reverbs. There's a lot of fun to be had. It's totally free. Just check the video description and go and make some glorious guitar noises with it. Otherwise, I will see you all on next week's Tuesday Tone Tip video. Thanks for watching.